Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So last week I talked about the importance of friendship, which I am going to link the video in the description box below. And I think you should check it out. You should check it out. Check it out. Let me know what you think. But this week I am here because I'm going to take my own advice and rebuild my community here from scratch. So for a bit of context, I am originally from the East Coast. I moved to Houston for 3 years and I'm actually back here on the East Coast. I am based in the DMV area. And while I have friends that I love and adore, I'm also looking to build a friendship group here in my new home because this is where I'm going to be for a while. I really love it here. Yeah, I just moved here and so far so good. So with that being said, I have 2 rules that I am going to be using when meeting new people. And hopefully you guys can use some of these rules too. So are you ready? All right. So here is rule number 1. Rule number 1, in order to meet people, you gotta go outside. So I'm gonna go outside, y'all, and I'm gonna touch grass, which means for me, doing things that I enjoy. So I love art, so I'm going to go to museums. I'm going to go to anything food related because I have a background in food. I am going to go to anything that involves creative people, meetups, going to the garden, basically doing things that I enjoy so that I can find people who enjoy those same things. Rule number 2, I'm going to talk to people when I am outside. Now, I know some people are going to say, oh my God, you can't talk to people outside, stranger danger, people are weird. All those things are valid. I'm not here to invalidate your feelings. All I am saying is that use your discretion and talk to people when it is safe to do so. But most people are everyday people, and there is a loneliness epidemic in America, which means that a lot of people are actually craving connection the same way you do. So don't be afraid to be the initiator of a potential connection. All right, and those are my rules. Y'all, just 2 of them. Every week, I want to come on here. I want to document my journey and making new friends and building a network. And also give you guys some tips that I am kind of learning along the way as I rebuild my network in a new place. So for the first week that I'm here, my first tip is if you see something, say something. Now, this not only applies to crime, but this applies to friendships as well. So if you see that someone has a really nice outfit on, say something. Don't be afraid to give out compliments freely, as long as they're genuine and as long as you mean it. I think people can sense insincerity. People can sense when you're trying too hard. As long as you're coming from a genuine place, most people are going to receive it well. And in the off chance that people don't, that's not on you. That is completely fine. So here's an example. My first week here, I went to a singles event. I just went to meet people, didn't have an agenda in mind other than that. And as I walk in, I see this really pretty girl. She has on this amazing dress. She has like beautiful thick locks in her hair. And I'm like, wow, like her dress is really pretty on her skin tone. Like she just looked radiant and just bubbly and gorgeous. And I made a mental note to myself. I'm like, before I leave here, if I run into her in the vicinity of this event, I'm going to tell her how good she looks in that dress. Lo and behold, I was talking to a few people at the event and she comes up to me and she's like, hey, I just want to really say that you're really beautiful and I love your outfit. I'm like, oh my God, me too. Because like low key, I had clocked her from when I first walked in there and I noticed how like just beautiful she looked. And I was like, wait, I actually saw you when I first walked in and I love your dress. And so we just started talking because like, who doesn't want to hear genuine compliments? Like, I'm not gonna lie, when somebody gives me a compliment, I eat it up. And I encourage you to eat up a compliment too. Like, I always say it takes nothing to accept someone's genuine compliment about you. So just take it and go about your day. So anyway, we start chatting and we get to the topic of friendship. And I asked her what kind of friend she is, and she says that she's a low maintenance friend. And I asked her to explain, You know, we hear that term thrown around a lot, especially if you live on the internet, as a lot of us do. And she mentioned that, you know, she's pretty low touch. She doesn't really hit up people too much, has not to appear too pushy, etc., etc. I'm like, okay, cool. By that definition, I'm not a low maintenance friend. If I haven't heard from you in a while, I am hitting you up. I am that person that if I'm at Target and I see something that reminds me of you, I'm going to text it to you. I am the person that's going to be like, I love you and I miss you and I'm going to send you random flowers and I'm going to do all the things. That's the kind of friend that I am. And by that definition, I'm not a low maintenance friend, and like, that's okay. So when I had explained this to her, she was like, okay, that's cool. I get it. Like, I can contact people more too. It's nothing. And I was like, cool, great. I like this for us. I don't know you, but like, I like this. And that brings me to tip number 2. Be curious about folks and what they mean by certain terms. Dive in, ask questions, and don't be afraid to be explicit in what you want and how you want people to treat you. And also encourage people to tell you how they want to be treated. You know, I think a lot of times we assume that we know what people are talking about. For example, back to the low maintenance friend conversation. Yes, there is a general definition of low maintenance friend, but everyone has their own twist to it, right? And it takes nothing to ask someone about their personal opinion about something, even if it's something that we hear all the time, like boundaries and gaslighting, you know, other terms that have entered, you know, our common lexicon. And it just really taught me an important lesson. Like, be curious about folks and don't be afraid to ask people how you want them to show up for you. So anyway, back to the story. Alice and I ended up chatting for a few hours. We ended up meeting 3 other girls who were like super dope, and they came and we just kind of became this like super group of folks. But that's to be expected, right? I always say good energy begets good energy, right? Whatever you put out into the universe, 9.5 times out of 10 is coming back to you. And so the singles event, it was all right. Like, it wasn't that great outside of meeting them. Meeting them was the highlight of the event. We all ended up doing like a little mini after party of sorts at a DC bar. And Alice and I exchanged numbers. So I'll let you know how that goes and let you know if that develops into anything. All right, y'all, so that is week 1 of my rebuilding, or shall I say building a friendship series. And come back next week if you want to tag along and follow me as I work on creating a community from scratch and make mistakes and not make mistakes. Follow me here, come back next week, and let me know in the comments below, what are some of the ways that you break the ice when you want to meet new people? Really looking forward to hearing your comments. Let me know in the comment section below, and until next week, take care and see you soon. Bye.